Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now I'm on page 20 over here reviewing. So it's page 20. I'm reviewing. And these are the prepositions. And these are huruf al-jar. Al-huruf al-jar. Jarratun. I don't want to rush this. Huruf al-jarratu. Jarratu. Okay. Al-huruf al-jarratu. Okay. So these are prepositional phrases that cause to be the next word to be jar, okay, to make the next word shuf. So it's harfu jar, harfu jarrin. That's a mudaf ilayh construction. If harfu jar, these are all harfu jar. They make the next word majroor. Okay, they give jar to the next word. They make the next word majroorun. Okay, for example, fil kitabi. It will be fil kitabu, will be fil kitabi. That's because fi is a harfu jar. Okay, so that we understood. So these are all. Now we have to memorize it. There's a lot. Okay, so I have made a mnemonic. Okay, so you know, this word. It's a very silly mnemonic, but you can see it's working. I'm not looking this from the text. Okay, so here, this is it. Okay, so this is how I remember. Okay, so if you can imagine waktub, it kind of sounds like uh, 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 right, waktub. Okay, um, so it's uh, you can just say waktub. Okay, you can write this as like this. I wrote it differently. Let's just put it this way. Okay, now so waktub. Okay, sounds like right or something. Okay, waktubli. So the way I imagine this, okay, this is a totally messed up Arabic sentence, okay, but it helps you memorize this list, which is kind of gigantic when I first tried to memorize, okay? So, but waktub li, in my mind that means like somebody wrote to me, like I don't know what Arabic is, right? So it's like waktub li, somebody wrote to me. Okay, who wrote to me? Rubba, it's not rabba, of course. It's rubba, not rabba. Who wrote to me? Many a. This word means many a. Okay? Waktubli. Wrote to me many a. Who? Many who? You don't need to know who they are. They're munzu, like different people. Okay, in my mind. Okay. So munzu is like this word means since. Okay? Munzu and muz means since for. So waktubli wrote to me ruba. Many who? You don't need to know who they are. They're munzu. You don't worry about. Okay? Okay? What did they write about? They wrote me about min and ala ila hatta fi. Okay, lots of this. They wrote me about lots of things. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, but they did not write me about certain things. Okay, all of these words means besides or except. Okay? Khala, hasha, ada. They all mean besides and except. Alright? So that's it. These are all the prepositions. There's 17 of them over here. Okay? There's 17 prepositions in this little mnemonic. Alright, so let's go to from the beginning. The first one is be. Alright? So first one is be. Okay? So which means with. Like Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay? The second is the word ta. Okay? Which means by Allah. It means by. It's used for oath. Okay? The second word is ta. It means by Allah. Ta'ala. It means by. This is for oath. Okay? The third is ka, as in kazalik. It means like. Okay? Like this. Kazalik. So it means like. Alright? And the next is the vow. This is oath, which means by. Okay, it means it's used for oath. Wallahi. Okay, so there are four in that right there. Okay. Waktub. There are four of them here. Okay, waktub. Be, which means with. Allama bil qalam, with. Ta is this ta refers to an oath. Ta'ala. Ka is like. So this is an oath. And while this in this case does not mean and, it is means by. So this means by, this means by. And this is oath when it is used as wal asri. Okay, wal asri. Okay. Okay. And then there's li means for me. Okay, li. That is for. Okay. And then we have it's not in order in the book, okay, but this mnemonics works like this. Waktubli wrote to me many a ruba many a. Okay? Many a who? You don't need to know munzu munzu. Right? Since for. Okay? So they wrote to me. What did they write about? Min an ala ila hatta fi. Okay? Except they did not write me about except in these, besides these. Khala, hasha, ada. Khala, hasha, ada. All of these things. Okay? So munzu is since, right? Since. ما رأيت منذ ما رأيته منذ أسبوع. I have not seen him since a week. ما رأيته منذ أربعة أيام. I have not seen him for the past 4 days. خلا. جاء الناس خلا زيد. Okay, the people came except for Zayd. رب عالم يعمل بعلمه. Many a learned person acts on his knowledge. That's رب. حاشا is except. جاء الناس حاشا زيد. People came except for Zayd. Min is from. From. An is from or regarding. From or regarding. Ala is on. Hatta is until. Uh, Hatta is until. Ila is up to, towards. Fi is in. Okay? That's it. So this is a mnemonic for uh, um, all the huruf al-jar. So let me just do it again. Okay, that's it. That's all the harmful jars. Okay, that's all 17 of them. All of them are in here. You can remember it that way. Okay, so the next is another list of things that we have to remember. Next is another list of things that we have to remember. Okay, now this is the concept that also that we have to understand. Now we're on page 22, and this is inna wa akhawatu inna. This is inna wa akhawatuha. Akhawatuha. Inna and its sisters. Okay, the I knew this inna as a sister, but now they're technically known as al huruf al mushabbahatu bil fa'l. They are known as al hurufu hurufu al mushabbahatu bil fa'li. Okay, mushabbahatu. Okay, الحروف المشبحة بالفعل. Particles. Okay, now إن وأخواتها. They are harf. They are particles. They resemble مشبحة. They resemble verbs. Particles that resemble the verb. Particles. Particles that resemble verbs. Okay, how did they resemble verbs? Okay, they remember there are two types of verbs. Okay, they how do they resemble? They are like فعل المتعدي. Okay, they are like الفعل المتعدي. متعدي. Okay, now remember for فعل متعدي, there's فعل لازم. Okay, فعل لازم are words that require فعل and فاعل, and that's it. فعل متعدي are the verbs that require فعل فاعل and مفعول. They require both of these. Now these inna are and ana are they resemble words, but because in when they come in sentences, they require two. They require uh, 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 two of these. Okay, um, they govern two words. So متعدي فعل, they govern two words. Okay, they are like فعل متعدي because they govern two words. Okay, I think that's kind of like a weak analogy, personally, because I don't know. Why don't you just call it, they affect two words? I mean, they are like فعل متعدي, which I have a very hard time to understand, and they're like that, and so you can get more confused. Anyways, but that's what they're. إن وأخواتها, they're called حروف المشبحة بالفعل because they are like الفعل المتعدي, which require the two words. They affect two words. إن وأخواتها affect two words too, so they're like that. Just say they affect two words. But anyways, إن وأخواتها الحروف المشبحة بالفعل, they are like فعل متعدي because they affect two words. But they don't come in فعل جملة فعلية either. They come in جملة اسمية. So inna wa akhawatuha, they come in jumla ismiya. They come in jumla tu ismiya tu. Okay, they come in jumla ismiya. So okay, what's jumla ismiya? Jumla ismiya has mubtada'un and qabrun, right? So they come in this. So inna comes, for example, in front of this. Okay. So inna comes in front of it. And what does it do? So inna affects the mubtada and make the mubtada mansub. It makes it double fatah, like or one fatah. Okay, it makes it mansub. It makes it from rafa to nasab. So it takes mubtada from rafa and it makes into nasab. Okay, like inna allaha ghafurun halim, like that. So inna affects the mubtada. And when it comes into a sentence, mubtada is no longer called mubtada anymore. Okay? It's no longer called mubtada. It's called ism inna. And khabar is not called khabar anymore. It's called khabar inna. Okay? So mubtada become nasba and it's called ism inna. And khabar is called khabaru anna. Khabaru inna. Khab, khabaru. It's called khabaru inna. Okay, and so it makes the khabar. Khabar is rafa anyway. Okay, so it makes mubtada mansub and it makes the khabar rafa. It's already rafa anyways, but that's what it does. Okay, it affects the mubtada. That's the key thing. All right. So inna comes in jumla ismiya, but when it comes into jumla ismiya, the mubtada is no longer called mubtada. It's called ism inna, and khabar is called khabar inna. Now, Inna and his sisters, right? There are several of them, right? So who are the Inna and his sisters? So here they are. Inna, Anna, Lakinna. So Ka'anna, Ka'anna, and Lakinna. And then Layta and La'alla. Okay, so this is all. This is how I remember. Inna, Anna, Ka'anna, Lakinna, Layta, La'alla. So there are like 6 sisters together. Inna has 5 sisters together. There are 6 sisters. The 6 shooters. So, and then, but if it's ka'anna, this will become isma ka'anna, khabar ka'anna. If it's anna, it's become isma anna, khabar anna. If it's lakinna, this will become isma lakinna, khabar lakinna. It's later, it becomes isma later and khabar later, like that. Okay, it changes to that. So that's them. All right. And so, for example, Inna Allah alimun. How you analyze that? Okay. So Inna Allah alimun. Inna Allah. Now see that's alimun. Alimun. So before Inna was there, this was Allahun alimun. Okay. So Inna is al harfu mushabbah mushabbahatu بالفعل بالفعل حرف الجر بالفعل. So a harf mushabbahat, if you like, or it takes whole too much space there. Sorry, a harf mushabbahat بالفعل. Okay, and in the originally this was ism jalala, the word of Allah was raf'un, right? But now it's called ism inna, and this was khabar, and but now it's called khabar inna. Okay, that's how that is analyzed. So inna means indeed. Okay, there's a couple more things we have to know about inna. So inna comes in the beginning of the word. There are 2 exceptions. Inna always comes in the beginning of the word, except there are 2 exceptions. Okay, 2 exceptions. The only time it comes in the middle of the word is if it is preceded by a word whose root letters are kha wa la. As in khala yakhulu khawlan, right? Khala. So yakhulu. قل إنما قل إنما الله إله إله قل إنما الله إله إنما. So any of those words, if those are present there, then it will be يقول السفهاء. يقول إنها. Yes, here's the example that's given. يقول إنها بقرة صفراء. So يقول إنها. So if it's preceded by any iteration of the word قال يقول, then it can come in the middle. Otherwise, it comes in the beginning. Alright. It can also come in the middle if it is the beginning of a silla. Okay, silla is not yet discovered, is not yet discussed here. Okay, so they say we'll talk about this later. But inna comes in the middle if it's the beginning of a silla. Silla, I think, it means like this and this is the one that is like this, the one that is like this, the one like this. That's a silla. So those are the two exceptions. Inna, but in general, inna comes in the beginning of the sentence, except those two circumstances. Okay. Whereas anna comes in the middle of a sentence. Anna comes in the middle of a sentence. Okay. Inna. And anna means that. Okay. Inna, anna. So that difference you have to know. Ka'anna means as if. Ka'anna means as if. Lakinna means but, however. Okay, remember later and later we heard before. This is for if only, I wish, for desire. Remember, and la'alla is for hope, maybe, hopefully, and perhaps la'alla is that. So inna, anna, ka'anna, lakinna, later, la'alla. Okay, so these are all الحروف المشبهة بالفعل because they are like الفعل المتعدي, which is transitive words which require فعل and فاعل. Okay, that's how you make a simple concept complicated, but we just students, we just learn it, I guess. Okay, now that's because alhamdulillah, actually we shouldn't say that because we should respect the way it's being taught. I'm sure it's generation, so I'm just being a white student at the moment. Forgive me. All right, now. Alright, so that's we did that. Okay. Finally, the last gigantic list that you have to memorize. I want to see how much space I have here. If I have enough space. Inshallah, we have space here. Okay, so the last is kana wa akhwatuha. Kana wa akhwatuha. Kana and its sisters. Okay. These are known as فعل ناقص. الأفعال ناقصة. Okay, first of all, we understand this. Kana and akhawatuha. There's a whole bunch of these sisters, right? This is like the mother of all families, or sisters. How many sisters in the family? And what happened to the brothers? Kana wa akhawatuha. So these are al-fi'l. These are verbs. Naqiz is incomplete or defective verbs. Okay, defective. Okay, or auxiliary. They say, whoever knows auxiliary. What does auxiliary mean anyway? Who uses the word auxiliary? But that's what they call it. Defective verbs. I like defective, so let's call them defective or incomplete. Defective. So defective include. So these are verbs. Okay. Inna ana are huruf. You should remember. Inna ana were harf. They're harf jar. Not harf jar. Inna ana were like, sorry, over here. Okay. They were huruf mushabbahat bil fi'l. They were harf. They were huruf. And they're not harf jar like the above list. Okay. So the first list we talked about were harf jar. The second list is huruf mushabbahat bil fi'l. There are harf that resemble verbs. This category, they are actually verbs. كان وأخواتها, they are verbs, but they're ناقص. They're incomplete and defective verbs. Okay. Why are they incomplete and defective verbs? Okay. Because they're presumably فعل لازم. Because they are lazim, which means they should require فعل فاعل, but they act as متعدي. So فعل ناقص, incomplete, defective, because although they are فعل لازم, they are فعل لازم, okay, but they require two معمولين, not مفعولين, by the way. معمولين. معمولين. So معمول. So they anything that they're amil, right? They affect the words that are coming after them, but they affect two words. They require two معمولين. Okay, even though they're فعل لازم, they act like فعل متعدي معمولين. Okay, they're defective. Okay. Okay, understand that. All right, whatever that means. Okay, so there are 13 of these that we have to memorize. Okay, so I have a mnemonic for this. All right, this is my mnemonic for this. Hope you like it. Take it. All right, here we go. So, uh, here's a word sentence that doesn't make any sense but helps you memorize. Kana Sara. Okay, imagine a girl whose name is Sara. Kana Sara. Sara was. Kana Sara was. What was she? She was an MD. Okay, which actually stands for Madama. MD stands for Madam. Kana Sara MD. Was she really MD? Not. She was really not. She was pretending. She tried, okay? She tried. She tried to become a doctor. Kana Sara MD? Like. MD is for Madama. See, Madama, MD. Okay. She tried. She tried to become a doctor. It just didn't work. How hard did she try? Well, she tried very hard. She would study in the morning. Asbaha. She would study in the mid-morning, in the Adha time. Okay, she tried. She really tried. She'd study in the morning, Asbaha. She tried in the Adha time, and she would try it in the evening too. She studied in the evening, Amsa time. She'd study all day, Zalla, as all during the daytime. Okay, She studied even in all night, Bata. She studied at Bata. So see these words, all of these words, they say they becoming something that becomes something that happens. Become, okay, that's something that happens. But also gives a sense of time. Something that happens in the morning is asbah. Something that becomes or happens in the mid morning is abha. Something that becomes or happens in the evening is called amsa. Something that happens during the day is called zalla. Something that happens or becomes during the nighttime is called bata. See, all of these words are becomes. Okay. She tried. She tried in the Asbaha. She tried and she become a doctor in the Adhar time. She tried to become a doctor in Amsa time. She tried to become a doctor by studying all days, by studying all night. It did not happen. Okay. She tried even more than that. In fact, she tried to become a doctor by studying always, continuously. See, all these words mean always and continuously. Okay. So she tried to do it by studying Mazala. Okay. She tried Ma Bariha as Bariha. So she tried by studying Ma Bariha. She tried Ma Bariha. All of those mean same thing. She tried Ma Fatia. and manfaka. Ma and fakka. In my test, I misspelled this thing. I misspelled a couple things in my test. This was one thing I misspelled. Ma anfaka. Okay, it's like this. Ma anfaka. So here's the story of this young girl, Sarah, who wanted to be a doctor. Kana Sarah. Sarah was an MD, not Laysa. MD stands for Madama. Madama means as long as. Madama means not. Laysa means not, of course. Laysa means not. Kana means was. Okay. Sarah means became. Kana Sarah, MD. Yes, Sarah become. Okay. So this is a mnemonic. This is all 13 of them in here. Okay. These are all kana wa akhawa to her. Kana Sarah MD Laysa. Nope, she was not MD. Sarah means to become. All of these words also means to become. All of these words mean always continuously. Kana Sarah MD Laysa asbaha adha amsa zalla bata. Yeah, I misspelled these two words on the exam. I'll tell you. I put bata. I put aba or something. It's bata, and it's manfakka. I skipped this alif or did something weird. Okay, lost points there to manfakka. Okay, so this kana wa akhawatuha. Okay, kana wa akhawatuha. These are af'al naqisa. Okay, they're fail naqis. They are fail. So the sentences would be the verbal sentences. They would be called fail naqis. Okay, now for example, okay. كان البيت نظيفا. Okay, now here's another thing. So كان البيت نظيفا. نظيفا. Okay, now this is the key thing. So how do you analyze this sentence? So this kind of is فعل ناقص, and this would be اسم كان, and this would be خبر كان. Okay, خبر كان. Before this was all of this was a uh, uh, this was a jumla ismiya. Okay, right? So, but after this fi'l naqis, the jumla ismiya, right? What changes occurred? So kana made the khabar. Kana affects the khabar. Kana affects the khabar right here. Inna affects the mubtada. Kana affects the khabar. Okay? Inna affects the mubtada. Kana affects the khabar. It makes it mansub. Okay. Now, there's a couple of notes that are important to understand. Is if kana is used with fi'l mudare. If kana is used with the fi'l present tense word, the word kana means was, right? It's a past tense thing. But if you take a past tense kana and put it with the mudare, it changes the meaning too of making it be like continuous, habitual. You see what I mean? Okay. Kana Zaidun yaktubu. This is example that is given. Kana Zaidun yaktubu. Yaktubu. Okay. If the kana was there, if you just say Zaidun yaktubu, you say that means Zaid is writing or Zaid will write. Okay. Zaid is writing. Okay. If you put kana Zaidun, this is Zaidun yaktubu. This is a present or future tense verb. Okay. If the kana was not there, this would be Zaid was writing. Zaid is writing. But if you take kana zaidu yaktubun, it changes this to a past tense sense. It makes it into a past tense sense, but something habitual or something that he did continuously. So this would be Zaid used to write. Okay? Zaid used to write. Kana Zaidun yaktubu. Okay? So this sentence can be translated either Zaid was writing, okay? Because this takes the sentence to the past. He was. Kana Zaid was writing. Okay, if you want to describe an action that happened, he was writing and this happened, right? How do you say that? Kana Zaidu yaktub. Zaid was writing. Or Zaid used to write as a habit. He used to love writing. Okay, that's all. There are two ways to translate Kana Zaidu yaktub. Zaid was writing, or Zaid used to write. So it gives this meaning of a continuity, that as a habit he used to do this. Okay, all right. So that's that. The other thing that's interesting about this particular mnemonic, okay, okay, this particular mnemonic is this. It's very interesting. Okay. Um, Now, my these two are only used for Madi. Okay, those two are only used for Madi. Okay, and then all of these are used for Mudare. Are used with Mudare. All of these are used with Mudare and Amr. Okay, and all of these. Let me use a different color because this is kind of important. All of these, okay, Mazala Mabariha Mafatia Manfaka, they are used with Mudare only. Okay, so these are used with Mudare only, and these are used with Mudare and Amr. Okay, so Mudare and Amr, and these two are only for Madi. Okay, that's kind of, there's a lot there. I know it's like, okay, so these are for Madi, and all of these are for Mudari and Amr, and this last category, Mazala, is all only used with Mudari form. Okay, can this mnemonic be reproduced? Okay, so let's see if I can do it. It's about Sara, right? Kana Sara, MD. Sara was an MD, Madama, as long as. Was she? No, she was not. Laysa, even though she tried in the morning in Asbaha, Adha, she tried in mid-morning, Adha, Adha, how do you spell Adha? Like this. And she tried in the evening, Amsa. And she tried in the daytime, Zalla. She tried in nighttime, Bata. Didn't work, right? So these words mean they became, and they give the sense of time when they became. And then she tried continuously, always. She tried always continuously. Ma zala, ma bariha, and then the ma zala, ma bariha, ma anfakka, and ma bariha, ma fatiha, like this, right? Yeah, do that, right? Ma fatiha. How do you say? Yeah, ma fati. There's a hamza here. Ma fatiha. Okay, there it is. So yes, it can be reproduced like that. So these are all the kana wa akhawatuha. These are fi'l naqis. Fi'l naqis. Okay, we talked about that. That's a lot there. Okay, and that, believe it or not, completes the review of chapter 1. As-salatu was-salamu. As-salatu was-salamu wa rasulullah walhamdulillah.